Hey, in this video we're looking at the career of rugby league legend Adrian Morley. We've already done Peter Sterlo, and now we're doing Morley. The guy was an animal, possibly the best forward in his prime in the world in rugby league. He primarily played prop, but he also played second row. And let's have a look at his stats, shall we? Now, he's born on the 10th of May 1977, so he's actually younger than I thought he was. I thought he was older than what he was, but he's younger than I thought, but still, he's 42, so I thought he was a little bit older. But he's born in Salford, Greater Manchester, and surprisingly, he doesn't start his career with Salford. He ends his career with Salford. He starts his career with the Leeds Rhinos. Now, the Leeds Rhinos are one of the most successful teams in the modern era. And he starts his career in '95 as a young, sprightly teenager. He plays 5 years there. And in those 5 years, he plays 149 games in both the Super League and Challenge Cup. He scores 35 tries. This is his most successful period as a player for try-to-game ratio. He's a wrecking ball. He's young, he's physical, he's powerful at this point. So he scores 35 tries, which is the equivalent to 140 points. And it's his time at Leeds that earns his move to the NRL. And this is where he becomes a trailblazer for the players like Sam Burgess and James Graham that we see today in the NRL. Adrian Morley was the trailblazer that started a trend of powerful front row and second row forwards going over from the UK, from the Super League to the NRL. That continues today. There are still big, powerful British players who play in the pack going to the NRL today. So he plays 149 games for Leeds, and we'll get to his honours later on, but that earns his right to move to Australia. He goes to the Roosters. It's not a bad choice of team. Again, one of the most successful rugby league teams of all time. And he really tears up the NRL. He is a man-mountain in the pack. He will put in massive hits. He got suspended a few times as well. He only played 114 games for the Roosters, so he actually plays less than when he played at Leeds. He only scores 8 tries, which is the equivalent of 32 points. So it shows that his job is not to be the try-scoring forward that he was at Leeds. His job is to be physical, make the tackles, make the hard yards, and create the space through his physical play for the more talented wide players, the backs, the halves. He is still a monster. He's still a man-mountain. And we'll get to his honours later on. During his time at the Roosters, he does go on a brief loan spell to the Bradford Bulls, where he makes history. Now, he only plays 6 games for Bradford at the tail end of their season, but he plays enough to earn a Super League winners medal. So he's now won trophies at all 3 clubs he's been at, and he will continue that success at his 4th club. He goes back to the Roosters for a final little hurrah in 2006. So he says, I'm not done with the NRL. I want to keep, battering people, basically, flattening people. He then earns a move to the Warrington Wolves, and this is his most successful spell as a player. This is where he wins most of his silverware, and this is where he becomes a club legend in Warrington, and he wins 3 Challenge Cups with Warrington, 2 back-to-back, which is exceptionally hard to do. He plays 173 games for Warrington in all competitions, only scores 9 tries, but again, he's there for the leadership now. At this point, he's in the second half of his career. He's now a veteran presence. He's a leadership character. I believe he was captain at one point for Warrington. At this point, he's now leading the young guys around. He's the leader of that forward pack. He's there for the veteran quality. But he's in the second half of his career now. So a bit of the pace has gone, but the instinct and the physicality has not. Just because he's slowed down a little bit doesn't mean he can't put in some massive physical hits. And this is before the shoulder charge is outlawed in rugby league. He is flattening people for fun at this point. He plays between 2007 and 2013. In his final season at Warrington, he goes on a little brief loan to the Swinton Lions in Greater Manchester, which is not too far from Salford. He plays a game. And he then earns a move to the Salford Red Devils, his hometown team, because he was born in Salford in Greater Manchester, and that's where he plays out the last 2 seasons of his career, where he plays 45 games and scores 2 tries. So, in his 20-year first-grade career, he's played 488 games, which is a lot of mileage. That means he's played more games than Cameron Smith. Yeah, that's a lot of mileage. He scored 54 tries, so most of the tries came in his early years with the Leeds Rhinos. He was that kind of destructive, powerful forward that was very difficult to contain. He would run people over. He was big for the era. The mid-90s, the players were starting to get bigger. He was a man mountain, and he was a physical man mountain. He scored 216 points if you equivalent the tries to points. Now, his representative career, which is basically test level, he played for Great Britain between 96 and 2007. So he played on the last ever Great Britain side before they reconvened this autumn. He played 30 games for Great Britain between 96 and 2007. So his second season as a fully fledged professional, he gets a call up to Great Britain. He only scores 3 tries. That's a try every 10 games. But again, he's there for his physical presence. He's there because he's a human wrecking ball. There are some really talented players at this period of time playing in the Great Britain side. And he is part of a very talented forward pack. Now, they don't win every game. The rivalry with Australia and Great Britain is at its peak at this point. And he had some very famous clashes with some very big, bruising Australian forwards. He didn't back down from the fight with Gordon Tallis and Willie Mason. He was, going toe-to-toe with these guys on a regular basis. Also, he played for 12 years for England as well. He got 23 caps for England. He got a single try. In total, he played 53 representative games. He got 4 tries. That's an equivalent to 16 points. Yeah, so the guy has played over 500 professional games, both internationally, at rep level, and at club level. The guy is a machine. Let's have a look at his honours. He won the Challenge Cup 4 times as a player with 2 different clubs. He won it with the Leeds Rhinos in 1999, and he won it with the Warrington Wolves in 2009, 2010, and in 2012, that is wrong. I've made a boo-boo there. Yep, I did a little foul up. I'm not re-recording the video, I'm doing it from here. So he won that 3 times with Warrington. He technically played enough games to win the Super League with the Bradford Bulls in 2005. And he also won the NRL Premiership with the Sydney Roosters in 2002. So that makes him the first British player to win the NRL and Super League titles. I do not think another player has done that from the UK to win both. So in that respect, he, I think, is a standalone player. If I am wrong with that, please place in the comments below where what players I've missed out. But as far as I'm aware, he's the only British player to win both titles. And to play over 500 games as a rugby league professional, that is a lot of, and that's over 20 years. That's a fair bit of abuse he's put on the body there. But he's a machine. He would have played more games had he not had so many suspensions. He had a fair few suspensions in his career. He was that kind of on the edge player. And when players like Willie Mason come out and say, "Yeah, I didn't want to go into contact with Adrian Morley with tackling or being tackled," that shows the effect he had on some other pretty men mountains. If Willie Mason post retirement says, "Yeah, I didn't like going into contact with Adrian Morley," you would know you were in a battle with Adrian Morley. He was that kind of dominant forward. He could dominate a forward pack for you. So there you go. There is a look at the career of rugby league legend Adrian Morley and the amount of games he played. Not known for his try-scoring finesse, apart from his time at the Leeds Rhinos, but my God, you got to see his highlights reel of some of the hits he put in as a player, some of the tackles and the hard yards he made and running over players. Yeah, absolute beast of a forward. And you won't see his like much these days with the way the game has changed. He did not back down from throwing punches. He was known to fight as well. And he did cop a few suspensions in his career. He would have played more had he been suspended less. So that title could have been near 550 games played. But there we go. There's a look at the career of Adrian Morley. And we'll have some more videos on rugby league legends in the days and weeks to come. But thank you very much for watching. Please place your comments below. Please like and subscribe. And I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.